the hill districts of Manipur in India, a state that is embroiled in ethnic conflict since the 3rd of May 2023. This is a conflict that is state-enabled and sponsored, and a conflict that is ongoing. Just want to say, I want to give deep gratitude to all of you for staying with us. We know it's a lot of speeches, we know it's a lot, but this is how we have to do the solidarity right now, because the shit is real. So it takes all of us. So, Million Women Rise, make some noise. Welcome Lun. Welcome Lun to the stage. Give her a sweet, joyful Million Women Rise welcome.
Thank you, Million Women Rise. Thank you, sisters, for this empowering platform to share a few words. I lost my aunt, Gozavung, who was 58 years old, and her only son, Golal Sang, who was 27 years, to mob attacks in Imphal, the capital of Manipur. And we also nearly lost his young bride that day. I am only one of many families who lost loved ones, homes, livelihood, schools, churches, and our ancestral villages. On May 4, 2023, 7 members of my family, including my aunt, Gozavung, her daughter, Zamngai Kim, who was 24 years, her son, Golal Sang, and his young bride, Nancy Jingtian Nyang, who was 27, were blocked and pulled out of the car by a mob of over 200. They were subjected to insults and questions about their identity and their ethnicity before the mob separated them. Golal Sang was chased, encircled, and attacked with rods, stones, and bricks. His mum positioned herself between the attackers and him, but they cheered and killed them in broad daylight. Khamson, my 1-year-old nephew, who was in the arms of his granny, was slapped many times. His parents tell me he still wakes up in the middle of the night, screaming and shaking. Nancy, my sister-in-law, was paraded to a different place where the Métis women folks, known as the Mera Paibis, shouted to their men to rape her. She was left to die with severe head injuries and fractured wrist and fingers. The next one. But miraculously survived to tell her ordeal. On May 5, Olivia Tongloy, next one please, 21 years old, and Florence Hang Sing, 24, were locked in a room by a mob. Young men entered the room and tortured them. A news report said co-workers could hear their screams and pleas for 2 hours. When the room was opened, it was filled with the blood and hair of the dead victims. The naked parade of 2 tribal women, which shocked the nation and the entire world, also happened on the same day. Lesser known to many of us is that the younger woman's father and brother were lynched by the mob and their bodies thrown into a drain in front of their eyes. Sorry. On June 4, Meena Hang Sing and her 7-year-old son, Tonsing Hang Sing, and her friend, Lydia Laurembam, were burnt alive in an ambulance on their way to the hospital. On the early morning of June 9, Mrs. Dim Khohoi, who was 75 years old, was shot dead while she was performing her morning prayer inside her village church. On the night of November 7, 2024, Zo Sang Kim Mar, a 31-year-old, next one please, 31-year-old mother of 3 young children, was shot in the leg and could not escape. Her charred remains were discovered the next morning with her brain membrane next to it. Post-mortem report reveals she was tortured and allegedly raped before she was set on fire. We have no clear information about any arrest for these atrocities and so many others that I have no time to share today. I urge you, Million Women Rise, please remember Manipur. Join us as we speak out against human rights violations, especially towards our women and children. Thank you.